People need everything. People need absolutely everything. We welcome any aid coming into the Gaza Strip. We have been advocating this for 13 months, but the average amount of trucks coming into the Gaza Strip in October was 37. 37 trucks for 2.2 million people who have nothing.
The Israeli government has not met the U.S. administered goals of getting more humanitarian aid into Gaza, according to the United Nations and several humanitarian aid organizations. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Defense Secretary Lloyd wrote a letter to Israeli leaders giving them 30 days to improve the humanitarian conditions in Gaza. The deadline is soon, and officials from both departments have repeatedly said since the letter was sent that the Israelis have made some progress but not enough. Louise Wateridge, Senior Emergency Coordinator for the UN Relief and Works Agency for Palestine refugees in the Near East, also said what Israel has done has not been enough to meet the Biden administration's demands.
For an entire month, all humanitarian agencies have been blocked by Israeli authorities providing food into the besieged areas of northern Gaza. I cannot tell you, and we do not know the extent that has caused the people who are trapped there.
Israel's government has passed legislation to bar the UNRWA from operating in Israel's territory, while the US and UN have criticized the ban and argued that the UNRWA is the only organization equipped and already in place to help Palestinians affected by the war. Israeli leaders have accused the UNRWA of providing cover for Hamas, and a handful of staffers have been tied to the October 7, 2023 Hamas terror attack. A collection of 8 humanitarian aid organizations released a joint report arguing that Israel's actions over the last month have actually, quote, dramatically worsened the situation on the ground, particularly in northern Gaza. The U.S. secretaries warned in their letter that Israel's failure to comply could result in a suspension of U.S. military aid to Israel.
There are potential legal and policy considerations from failure to improve the humanitarian assistance situation in Gaza and implement a number of the steps that we outlined in the letter.
Section 620I of the Foreign Assistance Act requires that the president halt military assistance to any foreign government that restricts U.S. humanitarian aid. The U.S. and Israel have repeatedly clashed over the humanitarian conditions in Gaza over the course of the war. Hundreds of aid workers have been killed during the war, while terrorist groups and gangs have also tried to divert the aid for themselves.